All right, you're watching NFL Now, and we're coming out a little bit early because the Denver Broncos just fired Nathaniel Hackett. He is one and not even one and done. 4-11 after a 51-14 loss yesterday here in Los Angeles to the Rams. The worst loss ever for a team quarterbacked by Russell Wilson. Hackett was fired this morning. We now have back-to-back seasons in which a first-year NFL head coach does not make it through year number one. Last year, it was Urban Meyer. This year, it was Nathaniel Hackett. You knew something had to change. I think the only question after watching that game yesterday was, will he make it through the final 2 weeks today? The answer is no. Hi, NFL Now, on early. Andrew Siciliano, Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and a front office view now with Mark Ross. Gentlemen, happy holidays to you. Tom, not a happy holiday, certainly yesterday for the Broncos. You were watching that game, and you knew it was the end. And the new Broncos ownership decided, let's just do it Monday morning.
Well, Andrew, the Broncos believe that Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson were going to usher in this new age of Broncos football. General Manager George Paton has done a lot of building with that roster, and really the quarterback had been the missing piece. For a variety of different reasons, it just did not work out that way. The Broncos had a lot of injuries. They had a lot of close games in the early going that they were not able to finish off for a variety of different reasons. And then ultimately it came down to that Christmas Day game where things began to spill over. You had a confrontation between backup quarterback Brett Rippon and the offensive lineman about no one helping up Russell Wilson after sacks. You had a fight on the field between Randy Gregory and a member of the opposing team after the game. You mentioned Urban Meyer. This is a totally different type of situation. Everything I have heard is that Nathaniel Hackett, at least going into yesterday, had kept that building together, had kept players together under really trying circumstances. But that partnership with the quarterback, Russell Wilson, was not working out. Wilson was not playing well, and that is certainly not all Nathaniel Hackett's fault either. However, they are committed to Russell Wilson for the long haul based on the trade, the contract that they gave him, the change that they could make and did make this morning. Nathaniel Hackett out as the Broncos head coach.
Okay, so Ian, we now have two. Go ahead, Ian. Go ahead. Sorry.
Sure, Andrew. No, it's fine. Jump right in. Anyway, so Tom mentioned the sideline skirmish yesterday. That was really emblematic of a lot of the issues here. And, the play on the field was terrible. The quarterback play, terrible. But the fighting on the sideline may have been worse because that was a sign that Coach Nathaniel Hackett had really lost his team. Complete disorganization on the sideline, players running amok, yelling at each other. It was all bad, but that was really a sign that it could actually get worse. Things could really implode in the locker room. You'd seen players playing hard the last couple games. That was not that yesterday. It was all bad. A clear sign that this team was very much over first-year coach Nathaniel Hackett. And Tom's right. There were signs early that this was not working out. The issues in the first game, really, they had to hire a game management coach, within the first couple weeks of Nathaniel Hackett's tenure. That was a really terrible sign. Nothing ever went right for the Denver Broncos. They got to get some coach in here to help fix Russell Wilson, make him into a good quarterback again because they have no choice. They're committed to him monetarily for years to come.
All right, so I was at the game for a couple of quarters yesterday in between shows here at the network, and it is just stunning how one-sided it was. And you knew that this truly was the end, Mark Ross. And if you were watching on Nickelodeon, there was a shot animated where like a blimp flew over the field and picked up Baker Mayfield, right? It was kind of fun. It was for the kids, and then carried him out of there. You can't do that with Russell Wilson and his contract. So what do you do here? If you're a head coach, you have to go in there and interview for this job and pitch that I can fix Russell Wilson. Do you think that can be done? Because that's what the Broncos are facing right now. That is an untradeable and, in essence, uncuttable contract without a 9-figure cap hit.
Yeah, I don't think he can be fixed. Look, Nathaniel Hackett, deservedly so, was fired, but he did things on his own to earn that. As far as Russell Wilson, when I watched Russell Wilson, he just looked shot. And I've been evaluating aging quarterbacks for 20-plus years in the league. Once they hit the wall, they don't come back. Everybody wants that magic that they'll come back. They don't come back. I will say generally they kind of have a steady slide downward. I've never really seen a quarterback go from early last season, Russell Wilson was still playing like an MVP, got injured, came back, looked like, man, this guy really is struggling. Now this year, he looks like one of the worst quarterbacks in football and can't get anything going. The confidence is not there. The vision is not there. The playmaking is not there. His teammates don't believe in him. So it was a hard fall. But as you mentioned, if you're a head coach going into this job, and of course it'll be, who would take that job? Who would take on Russell Wilson? If your name's not Sean Payton and you have choices not to take it, there's going to be people begging to take this job and saying, yes, that they can get the weapons around him and design the offense around Russell and make him better and fix him. But I really think that he's just kind of hit the wall and he's not coming back with that when you just watch it, when I watch him play and evaluate him on film. So that's the tough situation with that. Now, do you bring in another quarterback to compete with him and then make the decision and say, well, this guy's better, and then you bench Russell? So this is really an unprecedented situation. When I was with Eli Manning, when we fired Ben McAdoo when he was 2-10, the next coach coming in, you knew you had Eli, but he was towards the end. We hadn't just paid Eli a ton of money knowing this guy was going to be the guy forever. Eventually, they drafted Daniel Jones a couple years later. So this is really an unprecedented situation. I can't think of anything that's similar. So much money invested in the guy where you have to play him and keep him if you're the next guy, Andrew.
And all their picks are in Seattle. So it's not as if they're going to be in primo situation here, a primo situation to pick that quarterback. The Seahawks are picking top 10, if not top 5. That would have been a Broncos selection. If you're just joining us, 1 o'clock in the East, 10 o'clock here in Los Angeles, and 11 a.m. in Denver, where moments ago the Broncos fired first-year head coach Nathaniel Hackett. He is done at 4-11, not finishing the first season with 2 more games to go at the Chiefs. They've lost 13 in a row. The Broncos have 2, the Chiefs, and then 1 more game, Week 18, against the Chargers. The Broncos become the second team to move on from their head coach. It worked in Carolina. Steve Wilkes has the Panthers on the verge of an NFC South title somehow if they could beat the Buccaneers in Week 17. Tom, those 2 remaining games, any insight as to what the Broncos will do on an interim basis?
Nothing final at this point, Andrew. They do have a team meeting scheduled for later on this afternoon. You would anticipate a decision on that front would be coming there. They have one logical candidate in Ejiro Evero, who is their defensive coordinator, a guy who ended up in Denver because of Nathaniel Hackett. They were good friends back in their college days. Evero, though, regarded as one of, on his own, the bright young minds in the NFL. Obviously, the defense, like everything else yesterday, was pretty much a disaster. But you look at how they've played to this point in the season. Denver, one of the toughest in the NFL, one of the best in the red zone. Evero is a very steady type of a personality. Maybe that's what you need here, but you also have to factor this in. Is it good for him, as someone who potentially is going to be a head coaching candidate in the cycle, to take over a team for these final 2 games that appears to be in some degree of dysfunction? If perhaps Evero decides not to do it, or if they go another direction, they do have a former head coach on staff in Dom Capers, who potentially could be an option as well. Either way, we know this much. 2 more games for this iteration of the Broncos, the 2023 Broncos, but for the quarterback position, as Mark mentioned, probably going to look a lot different.
Yeah, and it probably should look a lot different. You mentioned the possible interim. I know people told Steve Wilkes the same thing. Oh, what's the upside of taking the job? They've looked a lot better. Certainly always some upside, especially if Evero can turn this thing around just a little bit. But long term, Tom, the only thing really important here for the Denver Broncos is who can come in and fix Russell Wilson. Obviously, they're going to look at all sorts of candidates, especially some defensive coordinator candidates. I'm sure Dan Quinn will get another look, but nothing more important than who is going to fix this quarterback that they are paying so much money to, and they just cannot get out of his contract.
All right, let's go to the front office. It was George Payton who swung this huge trade, sent all the picks to Seattle. At the time, it was lauded as, hey, the Broncos making a bold quarterback offseason move. This is going to work. It clearly has not. In the statement, Mark Ross, front office angle here now, from Greg Penner, who is one of the Broncos' new owners and CEO as well. He said, I will lead our head coaching search with support from our ownership group and George, meaning Payton here, whom I have confidence in as our general manager. Mark, what do you think of this roster? Because the thought was the defense is here. The skill guys are here. You just drop Russell Wilson in and it's going to work. Do you still believe in this roster?
Well, as we know, the quarterback situation, the quarterback is the most important position in sports. And if you look around the league at different teams, the Jets, talented roster, don't have the quarterback. And now Denver, let's not forget, coming into the season, a lot of high hopes for this Denver team. It's not as if everyone thought they were going to be terrible, and they turned out to be terrible. A lot of high hopes because of all the talent that is there, that is still there. But as you see, all that talent doesn't mean much if your quarterback performs at a backup level. So as George Paton, the GM, he's got to be breathing a sigh of relief. Man, I'm a part of this thing still. But he always will be tied to that Russell Wilson decision. Probably wasn't his decision alone. Everybody went into making that decision as part of that organization. But that has to feel good for George Paton to know that he'll be a part of hiring the next head coach, despite being a part of the Russell Wilson decision, who, let's face it, we all thought it was still good. No one could foresee Russell Wilson falling off a cliff like this fast.
Mark, it's a great point because remember, the ownership transfer was not even complete until August. So the owners were not there for the Russell Wilson trade. They would have, of course, had a say in the Russell Wilson contract. What they had to decide here, and certainly it does sound, as you mentioned, from that statement, like George Paton will remain as the general manager, is even if we believe that they got the head coach decision wrong and maybe got the quarterback decision wrong, do we trust everything else George Paton has done to build this organization and this roster? Do we trust that he's the guy to lead us forward? Well, you look around the team right now, a lot of those players they were counting on that they brought in are not out there. Javonte Williams with a season-ending knee injury. He was supposed to be that bell cow in the backfield. They had a ton of injuries at wide receiver, guys moving in and out of the lineup through the course of the season. Greg Dulcich missed 4 weeks. They were down their top 3 offensive tackles. On the defensive side, again, a lot of different moving parts there. You've got some of the cornerstones that Paton drafted, like a Patrick Surtain, who obviously is going to be a big part of what they do going forward. Justin Simmons, the safety, who they've extended and is a perennial Pro Bowl type of a player. Now, they obviously have to get some more pass rush. Randy Gregory, again, another injury, missed most of the season, came back, barely played, got in a fight. This is probably not the best time of year to be judging someone. Paton also, remember, got the 2 third-round picks in the Von Miller trade last year. This year moved Bradley Chubb for a deal that includes a first-round pick. They do have more assets than you would think based upon what they gave up to get Russell Wilson. And now there's certainly going to be pressure on George Paton, not just to influence the correct head coaching decision, but also to use what he does have, continue to build this roster, and hopefully, Ian, have a lot more health going forward as well.
Yeah, I mean, health really is a big part of it. But you know, you talk about judging, and look, obviously it is great news for General Manager George Paton that he is at least sticking around, it sounds, through the coaching search. And, you know, look, sometimes you hire candidates, you talk to candidates, and they say, well, actually, I want my own guy. That is why generally owners keep it open with the general manager. They don't make firm declarations because you don't want to turn off any candidates. You certainly don't want to turn off any candidates. You might want to keep it open. But I think with George Paton, you know, it's pretty safe to say that there's not as much margin for error as almost any other general manager, because so many of the big decisions that he made, from trading for Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson's contract, the hire of Nathaniel Hackett, so much good he's done in the draft, and then those decisions did not work out like anyone had wanted. Obviously, this is something ownership will be monitoring, looking at very closely, but at least it seems he gets to stick around in the short term.
Yeah. The original parameters of that deal with the Seahawks, it was Shelby Harris, Noah Fant, Drew Lock, 2 first-round picks. One of them was number 9 last year, which turned into the O-lineman, Charles Cross, who has certainly played well. And then a first-round pick this coming April, which will be 3 overall. 3 right now, so great position to pick a quarterback. And then a couple of 2s as well, and a 5 was involved. You mentioned the Bradley Chubb trade. They did get back that 1. From the Dolphins in a future 1.